Welcome everyone to the fourth section of the Tower of Spirits, where we will obtain the Fire Rail map, also known as the Fire Glyph. These floors are filled with a new type of enemy, the Warp Phantom, which comes coupled with the deadly Phantom Eyes. This new type of Phantom will warp to you if you get seen by one of the eyes, so don't get caught. This may seem a bit intimidating at first, but it's not that bad. Just keep an eye out for the eyes, and watch your map to see where the enemies are, and take them out one at a time. First, go to the right and you'll see a torch, as well as an unlit torch further to the right. Stand in the middle and use your boomerang to move the flame along. This creates a chest that we will be getting here in just a moment. Circle around and use the boomerang to stun the Phantom Eye from around the corner. This is the best way to take care of them, but be warned that after killing them, they will tend to reappear after a few moments. So don't just sit there, you need to either keep moving or go someplace safe. So after grabbing the first tier of light, continue north, killing the Phantom Eye along the way. Hit the crystal switch here in passing, then head to the opposite side and open the chest we created a moment ago, which gives you a small key. Next, go up the stairs in the middle, and we have some fish heads on the wall. The fish in the middle does nothing. The one on the left creates another warp phantom, so don't do that. And the one on the right activates a bridge and creates a chest down near the south that we will get here in a few minutes. Next, you want to use your whip on the log sticking out of the wall here, but watch out for the patrolling Phantom Eye, since it can see you while you're doing this. You want to make sure you do it when the Phantom Eye is not near you. This next set of 2 logs can be accomplished either when the Phantom Eye is on the bottom right or at the top right of this area, and I think it's actually pretty hard to time it just perfectly, so you're much better off swinging away from the Phantom Eye than chasing after it. So in other words, wait for it to be at the top right and then swing to the far south. This next little area forces you to be seen by the Phantom Eye, but don't worry though, because we have a safe zone right here. I'm going to grab the second tier, and you're guaranteed to have that Warp Phantom come over and investigate. You just want to wait for it to disappear, then quickly swing back south before the Phantom Eye comes back. Just make sure the patrolling one is far away when you do this, otherwise you'll be seen, and then that's a whole another can of worms right there. This next part is probably best to do while the patrolling Phantom Eye is on the far bottom right, so that when you're swinging, you're going away from it. It's definitely possible to do it when it's at the top right as well, which is actually what I usually do, and that's what I was trying to do here, but I swung a little too early and I realized it in the middle of my swings, but, well, that's what I get for being impatient. Don't worry though, I will show you how to deal with this situation. So it's probably kind of a learning situation anyway. Run as fast as you can towards a safe zone, and as soon as the eye slows you down, immediately rub the stylus on Link to get it off, which also makes it vulnerable. Quickly kill it, and you should be able to get away before the Phantom catches up with you. You're probably doomed if you get multiple eyes on you because they'll slow you down one after the other, but as you just saw, it is certainly possible to outrun the Warp Phantoms. That's everything we had to do on this floor, so head to the top right part of the map and use the small key we got earlier to go up the stairs. Just watch out for the Phantom Eyes patrolling around here. This next little area is rough because the safe zone is so far away. You'll need to use the boomerang to stun the Phantom Eyes around the corner and work your way forward. They'll reappear after a few moments, so don't idle too long. This Phantom up ahead is guarding the final tier, and if it sees you, it creates a wall blocking the safe zone, so we'll need to lure the Phantom away by causing distraction. Remember, you can't let it see you because you will not be able to continue if that happens. You can use the boomerang to cause noises off to the left and have the Phantom follow you around that square, or rather follow your boomerang noises around the square, and you're up ahead of it so that it doesn't actually see you, and then you can make a run for the safe zone. If you do get seen by that Phantom Eye off to the left though, then you're toast. Instead, I recommend you remain as regular bread, fluffy and happy, using your boomerang to create a distraction off to the far right. As soon as the Phantom runs off, make a run for the final tier. So work your way back towards the stairs, killing the Phantom Eyes along the way. You can have Zelda warp to them and then have her walk a little bit so that she'll automatically take them out. Anyway, it may be nice to do this as practice to get used to this feature, but I'm just going to plow through here with my boomerang since that's a lot faster, and then just have Zelda following me. So here we have the suspicious room in the corner that Zelda pointed out that acts as training for the warping functionality. Draw a line from her to the Phantom Eye, and you'll have to sit through these warping movies that they play every single time you do this. Oh, so time-consuming. Have Zelda step on the switch there to open the door, and after that, just have Link open the chest to get some treasure, then go back down the stairs. I always forget this, but when I go down these stairs, if you stand at the bottom of the stairs, you can use the boomerang around the corner to hit the Phantom Eye before it causes any problems. This is a little bit tricky, though, because if you're not careful, you will actually hit Zelda with the boomerang instead, because if she's standing right next to you when you use it, you'll just smack her. So that doesn't really accomplish anything for you. Anyway, if you would like to kill the Phantom down here, that would actually make it a little easier for you. You can sneak up behind it and then stab it in the back. And because this is currently the only Phantom on this floor, that if you kill it, then you won't have to worry about any phantoms at all, as long as you don't get seen by a Phantom Eye. Since we're pretty much done with this floor, this just makes it a little easier. It doesn't really matter too much, but we will be wandering around here for the next little bit. Now before moving on, there is some quick treasure we can grab. You want to go to the far left and stand on top of the platform here, have Zelda stand below, and I usually like to wait for her to kill the Phantom Eye so that I don't have to worry about it. Jump on her shield and then have her walk all the way to the far right. You'll notice that this upper area of the platform in the bottom right corner of the map has a chest on it. The only way to reach this is the southern part, which is lacking that stone railing. Have Zelda bring you there, then hop off and open the chest. So one last thing, you want to hop back on her shield, then go north. There is a log here that is too tall for you to reach normally. With the added height, though, we can use your whip to swing across to the other side and get the chest. Now when you swing back, you may want to actually move Zelda a little bit so that you don't touch her when you swing back, because otherwise you may just fall into the abyss, and it's kind of annoying. You'll lose health that way. Alright, so back on top of the platforms in the bottom left corner of the map, I'm going to go open the chest to the right. If you don't have the bridge or chest, that means that you didn't solve the fishhead puzzle in the top right corner of the map, so go do that real quick if that is the case. Next, you want to have Zelda warp to the Phantom Eye a little to the north and on the other side of the door. There's a crystal switch on the other side, and they both need to be activated at the same time in order to open the door. So you need Zelda on this side and you need Link on the other side. So once this Phantom Eye passes, you want to go hop down with Link and go through the locked door to reach the crystal switch. Again, you need to kill them both at the same time, so have Zelda draw a line with her and then immediately slash with the stylus on the screen. This will make Link hit the crystal switch on this side. So it may be smart to kill this patrolling Phantom Eye before you do this, but when you get a good chance, go north and watch out for the northern Phantom Eye as well, which has probably reappeared in the meantime. You can either have Zelda kill it ahead of time, or you can stun it to get past, and then head up the stairs. In this area, you want to watch out for the hidden blue choo-choos. To kill them, you can either toss bombs at them or have Zelda strike them. Zelda will sink in sand, but Link can walk on top of it, kind of like the opposite of the spikes, I guess. Have Zelda stand on top of the left switch and Link stand on the right one to create a path across. Now if you just have Zelda follow you at this point, she'll walk right through the sand again, so it's kind of annoying. Instead, either draw a path for her across the bridge or line her up and then have her follow you. So here we have a new type of puzzle involving warp tiles. Have Zelda walk through the spikes and stand on the one on this side while you go to the other one, and once both of you are placed, this will make you swap. On this floor, we need to get to both the east and the west sides, and they're independent from each other, so you can do them in either order. I usually go to the right side first, but it doesn't matter. Have Zelda walk through the spikes, and then all the way around to the triangle warp tile. So once you switch places, use Link to go right, but watch out for the blue choo-choo here. And now that you have the whip, you can use it to take the shields away from these Geozards up ahead, making them defenseless. So I don't know about you guys, but every time I play this level, I always forget that I can move this block up ahead. I think it's just the fact that it's sitting on top of this gray square of the flooring right here, that I glance at it and I just assume that it's like part of the wall, that it's making it narrow so that only Link can fit through, but Zelda's too big and so she can't. But that's just me getting confused. After I stumble around, I remember and I feel stupid. But do you guys have a similar experience, or am I alone in this? Like, I think if that floor wasn't that different color, that it wouldn't confuse me at all. But I don't know. Anyway, you want to drag the block and put it on top of one of these two switches. Next, you want to have Zelda stand on the square warp tile to swap her with Link. Have her stand on the other switch so that they're both pressed down at once, and this will lower the spikes back at the entrance, allowing Link to pass through rather than using the triangle tile again, and then he can walk across the sand. With both characters on this side of the map, you can now access the double doors in the northeast corner of the room. Alright, so that's all we had to do on this side. You want to drop off the ledge near the square tile to get back to the middle, and then work your way to the left part of the room. I really like the map system in Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. It's reliable, it's easy to see what's going on, but it doesn't show everything. Things like pushable blocks, switches, and other stuff that you can interact with often isn't shown on your map at all. In the Tower of Spirits, one trick you can use is to draw a path with Zelda. Not to warp, but to just look around the map using your lower screen. So by drawing her ginormous path and not actually making her walk there, like through walls and stuff. But doing that here, for example, would allow you to explore the other side and see things that are not normally in your vision. For example, here we need to use the boomerang to hit a crystal switch that's in the far corner that we normally can't see. This lets Zelda get across the sand by forming a bridge, and you can have her warp the Phantom Eye to the far north and steadily work her way to the far south. Up ahead, we have some spikes that have a yellow border, indicating that Zelda can't walk through them. Now, I presume that at first glance this puzzle originally had walls, but they obstructed your view a little bit, and having pits wasn't any better because the boulders would knock you off at the ledge and Zelda would reappear, and it would make people angry because then they'd have to quickly tap on her and draw her a new path and stuff. It was just frustrating. No, the real reason that you can't walk through the spikes is to teach you, and this is a carefully constructed training room that leads to an epic puzzle, and I'll explain more about that here in a moment. Continue working your way south and have Zelda stand on the circle warp tile, then switch to Link and run over to the other side, and once you have swapped, have Zelda warp back to the Phantom Eye to the far north and start working your way south a second time. I really like this puzzle. I think it's really cool and all, but it is kind of excessive making you walk through it 3 times. Now, why did they do this? Why can't you just walk through the spikes with Zelda? Because if they did that, players would not have Zelda stop the boulders. I know some people would probably figure it out immediately, but other players would specifically not. Boulders hurt Link, and earlier puzzles in this game told us that we cannot get past boulders. So why would Zelda be able to? We would just automatically assume that we can't get past them with Zelda either. By forcing us to go south with Zelda repeatedly through the boulders, developers are showing us that Zelda can escort Link back north. This is training, so that, just very subtle, so that we know how to solve this puzzle in a few minutes. Once Zelda finally gets there, have her stand on the floor switch to lower the spikes, and then bring Link through, and I usually have him stand just above these spikes so that Zelda can walk past, otherwise she, bumps him into the spikes and you get hurt. Now, these boulders interrupt Zelda's movement, so you'll have to draw her a path repeatedly. You can just have her start moving even while there's a boulder right in front of her. You can just draw short paths rather than really long ones. And this way you can make your way forward the most efficiently. When you do make it through real quick, you want to stand on the floor switches here to create a bridge back to the center. We don't actually need it yet, but it is best to get it out of the way right now. So this next puzzle to the north requires Zelda to get across a huge chunk of sand, but it's too far for you to blow her over with the whirlwind. You can blow her short distances across pits and stuff with that. So the only other option is for her to warp, but there's no Phantom Eye over there. So how do we do this? Well, conveniently, there is a Phantom Eye right here, and using your various items, we can stun it and move it along. You can use the boomerang to stun it around the corner, that's great, and you can also move it along with the boomerang as well, but it's kind of awkward and sometimes it doesn't really move it where you want it to, so instead, switch to the whirlwind and blow it over to the far left so it's across the gap, and then this way you can use Zelda to warp over to the Phantom Eye. Lastly, I recommend you get Link out of the way, because if you take too long trying to warp Zelda or whatever, then you could get seen when the Phantom Eye wakes up or when it reappears. Once you've pushed down both switches, this removes one of the doors blocking the stairs to the next floor, and now that both sides are done, we can work our way over there. Have Zelda warp to one of the 2 Phantom Eyes to get past the sand, and as long as you've made both of the bridges on the left side of the map, then you're done with everything you need her for over here, so send her to the Phantom Eye near the exit. Now with Link on the other hand, I recommend you keep out of sight until that Phantom Eye reappears, otherwise it may pop up while you're running through and you'll find yourself with an unpleasant surprise. Now here the Phantom Eye popped up right as I was approaching, and I was going to wait here, but as you can see the blue rupee on the ground that just appeared, so I know that Zelda just killed it mere moments ago. Quickly make a run for the stairs, and as long as you've completed both sides of the room, you should have a small key and can move on to the next floor. Okay, so I don't think this puzzle is super intuitive, but the idea is that the entire room can only be solved with Zelda. Link just gets to sit here and chill and practice twiddling his thumbs. It's an acquired talent, I hear. Quite challenging. Now, while there is a Phantom Eye off to the far right side of the room, you don't actually need to warp there at all. You want to have Zelda warp to the left side of the room and get there either by walking or warping, and then once there, she can walk on top of the green square, which changes the color of the tiles. They don't really explain this at all, but what you're supposed to do, and figure out by being observant, is that this box is similar in shape to the room on the right side of the map, which has a phantom patrolling on a very specific path. Now the solution is to have Zelda copy the path on these tiles, and if you do it correctly, then you will open the door. Now there's some very similar puzzles to these in the Oracle series, where you have to step on every tile only once, and I don't think it really matters for this particular puzzle, but I always try to avoid walking over top of any tile a second time, because it just kind of makes me think of the Oracle puzzles. I don't think it really matters, as long as the goal is just to make very specific tiles turn red. Once you've successfully completed this puzzle, this will open the door and grant you access to the stairs where you will find the next piece of the rail map, the Fire Glyph. That concludes this video and also this chapter. Thank you guys for joining me, hope you found this helpful as well as entertaining, and I will see you for the next video where we will tackle the Fire Realm. See you then.